quick stint here in Luke 22 to finish the chapter. We're in verse number 66. At daybreak, all the elders of the people assembled, including the leading priests and the teachers of religious law. Jesus was led before this high council, and they said, "Tell us, are you the Messiah?" But he replied, "If I tell you, you won't believe me, and if I ask you a question, you won't answer. But from now on, the Son of Man will be seated in the place of power at God's right hand." They all shouted, "So are you claiming to be the Son of God?" And he replied, "You say that I am." "Why do we need other witnesses?" They said. "We ourselves heard him say it." So this is Jesus going in front of the first of his court cases, basically before his crucifixion, in the Jewish leadership between the priests and the teachers of religious law, and they ask him outright, "Tell us that you are the Messiah." And his answer is kind of boggling here. He said, "If I tell you, you won't believe me, and if I ask you a question, you won't answer," because he's had this whole time that he's told people and they don't believe him, and he asks questions and the people just refuse to answer or to be quiet. But he does say one thing. He says, "But from now on, the Son of Man will be seated in the place of power at God's right hand." See, he's basically prophesying to where he's going to, after the crucifixion, which he already knows about, that he'll be seated in the place of power at God's right hand. And it's basically saying now they're like, "This is it. He's a heretic. We don't need anything else because he's claiming to be the Son of God." And Jesus basically said, "Well, you said it. You said it. You say that I am." And they're like, "We don't need any more witnesses." He basically has already admitted to being a heretic here ourselves. I said, what this basically needs to say is like when we're going to come under fire from the enemy through people here on earth. Our battles against principalities. It's a spiritual warfare, and we're going to be asked questions from people who really don't want the answer. They're just trying to be antagonists. And this is what he's basically telling these people: you're not gonna believe me. Whatever I say, you're just gonna you just won't listen. Like, so it comes like I'm wasting my breath. But he makes a statement that I'll be seated at God's right hand, regardless of what you do. And then they basically say, "So you're claiming to be the Son of God?" And he's like, "Well, you just said it." So he's not creating a fight. And I think sometimes when we're evangelizing and we're out talking to people about who Christ is in our life, you'll run across some person that they're not listening. Their ears are completely shut, and they just want to argue and rile you up. Some of them, their point is to get you so angry that they look and go, well, and they pick the point. They go, "Well, Jesus' followers are supposed to be known by the great love they show for one another, and here you are, angry and spitting, basically all in my face." And it's a ploy to make ugly our faces and our argument per se. Jesus basically showing here, demonstrating we can disagree with people with civility. And we need to understand sometimes there's just people out there who just aren't going to get it. They're just not going to listen, and we can basically disengage from that. It's okay, and you can pray to God that that person meets someone else to help them understand who God is if it's truly in their heart to know Him. But there are going to be plenty of times that you're going to have people come against you just to rile you up, and they have no intention of listening to what you say. You could go through the entire Roman road. You can go through the entire books of all four Gospels and tell people the salvation story, and they're still going to just basically continue to just hurl accusations and vile at you. And I think this is Jesus basically showing us a great example of how you can basically diffuse these people, but basically not even playing the game. Like okay, yeah, sure, I could tell you about Jesus, but you're not gonna listen to what I say. You're not even gonna take it under consideration. And there are people like that in any kind of argument. So if you need to determine, if you're gonna, there's some people that just want to argue to get angry, and then other people that actually are looking for education and opinion, and you need to kind of ask for God for the discernment to tell the between the two people. Those that are searching answers are good to have discussions. Not all of them will listen to what you have will be convinced by what you say, but they'll at least listen, and you should tell them, your testimony. And I said the big thing about taking out of the lesson today is be remaining civil even in the face of their adversity. Like if they're screaming at you, disengage. Tell them that, like, this is no longer a discussion. This is an argument, and I won't engage in this. So with that, I want to pray with you and I want you to go for today. Father God, thank you for today's message. Thank you that you've shown us the great example of how to diffuse situations with people who just want to be angry and and spew hatred and just want to suck us in. That you showed us how we can disengage from that. We can continue to show love and by praying for them and to show God that we are concerned with who the people we communicate with, but also we don't waste our time with people who don't want to hear the word, that are just looking to antagonize and to create disdain among Christians. We need to have discernment. Lord, just ask you to continue to be with the sick and grieving. We always lift them up to you for healing and for comfort. And Lord, just ask you to continue to change us each and every day so that we're better than we were yesterday, that we are better today, or closer to Christ every day. And Lord, please give us an extra portion of discernment so that we know when we're having a discussion versus an argument, and that we continue working dialogue and discussion, but we disengage in argument. We ask all these things in Jesus' name.